The Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
Hello, friends. It's the POSTGAME POD. Yes, I'm flying solo today because I told we might have had we might have filmed another episode prior to this one that you'll hear tomorrow. Kind of looking ahead to the playoffs, what comes ahead. Very special guest joining me to talk about where this journey goes after 82 games in the rear view. But the Celtics finish off the regular season with a win over the Charlotte Hornets. 93-86. I am terrible at remembering final scores. This is why I need a host in here with me because they always remember from reading it 74 times during our post-game show. But a fun game. Like I know I feel bad sometimes for fans. Fan Appreciation Day, and 6 of the core members of this team are out. The Celtics resting Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derrick White, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis. But they're all there in attendance and mingling with the fans afterward. But you got a really entertaining game with the Celtics Stay Ready crew put into a spotlight. Now, that same crew got tossed out there in Orlando 2 games ago, and just didn't have it. We knew the situation was second night of a back-to-back, coming off a big win in New York, where sort of the last time the starters really went hard, and then that group got a chance and just, didn't meet the moment. They were better in the second half of the last game against Charlotte and really carried it through today, building a huge first half lead on the strength of a dominant first quarter. Sam Hauser was knocking down threes. Luke Kornet was everywhere. And then the Charlotte Hornets, to their credit, for a team that has lost a lot of games this year, 63 to be clear, came back and made this thing interesting, and the Celtics had to grind to the finish line. And one of the things I really loved is Luke Kornet, Payton Pritchard play some big minutes, get a chance in a clutch situation to have to make some plays and get the team to the finish line. And they were really good there. And so, not only them, but J.D. Davison, just signed to the parent roster, gets an opportunity and has some big plays at the finish line. Jordan Walsh, who hasn't seen a ton of time in the second half of the year, and as the Celtics have revamped this roster, even adding Torrey Craig along the way. And I love that everybody had their hand, and Nemi had some moments. So I liked that group, a group that we're not probably going to see a lot of in the postseason, save for Sam and Luke. And Peyton was given a chance and really showed well, and a little lasting impression of what J.D. Davison can do, of what Jordan Walsh and the progress he's made. And, those guys could be asked, at least in camp next year, to audition for bigger roles, and we'll see where that goes. J.D., obviously, the news breaking the day before that he is signed being converted from a 2-way contract to taking the 15th roster spot. It's interesting. I think we all kind of knew all along that the Celtics would probably fill that 15th roster spot. You wait to the end of the year to limit the tax implications, or at least the salary implication of it. And I think for a lot of the season, we thought it would be Drew Peterson, who got a lot of minutes at the start of the year. But with the roster construct and the fact that JD has been grinding away in the G League for multiple seasons now, and late second round pick, hasn't had a chance to really crack the roster, and we know how loaded it is at the guard position. It's really cool to see his MVP season in the G League rewarded. A little reminder to those guys that end up in the G League with the Celtics, whether on a 2-way or just G League guys to begin with, or draftees that end up on a 2-way, that you can be rewarded, that you get to all of a sudden be a full-time member of the playoff squad. And so, JD will be available for postseason games if necessary. If nothing else, he's got a front row seat that, instead of maybe getting tucked in the corner when you're a 2-way guy, a chance to be on the bench for this entire journey. And, we saw it last year when the Celtics elevated Nemi Ishkeda, and then his role blossomed into the new season. JD's got a tough path when you think about the way the roster and the point guard position looks right now. Hasn't fully figured out how to harness, his obvious talents with the speed and, versatility that maybe would set him apart. That has set him apart in the G League, but maybe hasn't fully parlayed over to what they do at the NBA level. He's got to be a better shooter and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is he had a great year in the G League. He owns a whole bunch of the main Celtics records now, and it's just really cool to see him rewarded. And again, I think it's something other guys will look at and go, oh, if I go up to Maine and I work hard and I show progress and I develop, maybe that's my pathway to being a part of this Celtics roster as well. But it was cool to see. Now, the other big part of today, Derrick White got a chance to sit down with Abby before the game, talk about winning the Tommy Award. Luke still taking it personally, actually pointed at Scal during the broadcast at one point. Ironically, Luke wins the Tommy Award on the final game of the season. Couldn't close the gap. I did point out to Tom Giles during our broadcast that the Celtics finished 40 games over 500 this season, and 40 happens to be the jersey number of Luke Kornet. Just saying. Maybe a sign that Luke should have been the one to win that award, but pretty cool that the Celtics have that many players that are out there grinding and putting themselves in contention for that award on a night-to-night basis. A fully stocked leaderboard shows just how important everybody was to this journey, and here we are, 82 games in the rear view mirror. Normally we throw to the post-game show and then come back. We're going to look ahead tomorrow, a big look ahead to the postseason, to the Celtics starting this quest to repeat as champions. And what does that look like? What do we think of the Eastern Conference? A lot of talk about Jaylen Brown's knee and how we're feeling about that. But for now, let's relive a little bit more of Game 82, and a good night for the Stay Ready group.
Are you ready to enter the realm of affordable luxury? Drew Carter here at 24 Infinity of Plymouth, your go-to destination for affordable luxury.
Right now, lease a new Infinity QX60 Lux for just $569 a month, or lease a new QX80 Sensory for $1099 a month.
Ready to trade and upgrade? You'll get top dollar for your trade. Visit 24 Infinity of Plymouth at 151 Samoset Street and online at 24infinityofplymouth.com.
What was my key at the beginning of in pregame?
Compete.
What was my key?
Compete, exactly.
You guys said competitive. You said competitive. And that's what they had to do because it became a competitive game after we went up big. They had to go out there and compete. And that's what I do like that. It doesn't matter that it's the 82nd game of the season, the last game of the season, and it doesn't matter that you're not playing against the other team starters and the superstars. This is not a star-studded game, but you're still going out there and you're playing your tail off and you're doing everything you can to prepare yourself for an opportunity because that's just what it is. I remember when I was going into our playoff push, man, there was games that I didn't play. I had DNPs, but guess what I would do? I was competing with myself. I'd go into the gym at night. I'd get in the gym before practice and make sure that I was ready for when my number gets called. I could show up in the big-time moments. And I think that this is what this team is about. This team is about competing. This team is about being ready. They call it the Stay Ready group. And we know that that the rotation is going to shrink down, okay? The game is going to shrink down. But are you going to be prepared? And I think these are the type of moments right here that help you prepare for those big-time moments.
Yeah, and again, the big-time moments, and you talk about compete. No one competes like Payton Pritchard, and had his opportunity to do that tonight, coming up with those 34 points. You could see it right from the start, that he was going to be the go-to guy. I mean, he took 25 shots in this game, and he needed to. Eddie, your thoughts on what we saw from Pritchard?
Well, it was a bounce-back game. He felt like he didn't play particularly well the last game, so what is he going to do? He's going to come out and be ultra-aggressive. He's going to have the green light. The neon green light, just like the numbers in his last name and the stripes on the side, right? You're going to have the green light to go out there and play your brand of basketball, to feel comfortable. And these are good moments, though, for him because going into the playoffs, you feel good after this. You feel extremely good after going out there and putting out a performance like this that you did today. So I'm never surprised at what Payton does, man. And the bounce back is what it's all about. It's not about carrying that over.
And his numbers around the basket have been great all season long. One of the highest in the league in points, efficiency around the basket despite his size. And I love the way he worked around the hoop today, creating space for himself. He seems to thrive, get a little nudge, get a little room, and finish around the basket. I love the way everyone obsesses about defensively his size, but he just has a knack for the rebounding as a little undersized player, as getting around the basket and finishing. Little stuff that could come into play in the postseason when, if the shot's not falling, he's got to get creative with the offense. I think that can fuel him a little bit.
The one thing we didn't see, though, was he had the breakaway.
No, I know.
Went up with the layup.
Did you see Derrick White?
Derrick White gave it a thumbs down on the bench. His teammates were on top of him for that one, finishing it off the glass. All right, meanwhile, Abby standing by with Payton Pritchard back at TD Garden.
Payton, the Hornets were doing everything they could to shut you down the stretch there. How did you guys close this one out?
Just being resilient. We had some guys. JD hit some big buckets. Jay Walsh hit a big three. So guys stepped up and we made plays and got some stops and got it done. So proud of those young guys.
I know you weren't happy with yourself after Orlando, but you put up 34, 7, and 7 here, an MVP chance when you're at the line. Do you feel like you redeemed yourself?
Like I said, you learn from it. It's frustrating night the other night, when you have an opportunity like that. But it's just all growth. You're going to continue to get better and better. And the future, you never know what the future can hold.
Talk about growth. You guys have had back-to-back 60-win seasons tonight, number 61. When you look back on this season for yourself, what stands out?
I feel like I took a step. I've matured a little bit. I think the biggest step in my career has been my mental, not riding the waves and just staying consistent with my work and my play. So I'm proud of that, and I hope to continue that.
How long do you allow yourselves to celebrate that before you start looking ahead?
No, it starts tomorrow. So recovery, treatment, all that, getting ready, game planning for whoever we play. So it starts tomorrow for sure. This is going to be a long journey for 2 months. Time to lock in and get it done.
Payton, thank you. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
You got to be careful with this one. Shireman in the good hands. Craig on the pickup. Here's Baylor behind the back.
Oh, my gosh.
Highlight reel stuff.
Goggles. Man, now Shireman's just black showing off.
Baylor Shireman behind the back. How many times have we seen that so far already in the last month or two? We got Drew and Scal. What's up, fellas? Celtics getting the win here. Once again, led by Payton Pritchard.
Yeah, Giles, Payton Pritchard, did anybody ever think that in the NBA, Payton Pritchard would be getting face guarded and then a box and one for him? Charles Lee knows how good that guy is.
Yeah, and he still had over 30 points, and it just shows you how good he could be. And, another one of those opportunities where he has the ball in his hands and he got everyone going, everyone involved. He still can play a big number. He's got a flamethrower, and he's getting better at going to the rim.
Yeah, it's fun to watch him in this role. It's one of the serious delights of the season is at the end of the year, it's going to be the Pritching hour. Friday, the Celtics played most of their guys, so we didn't really see it, but today was the time where it was Pritchard's time to shine. He responds with 34, 7, and 7. And then Sam Hauser, right? This is the thing. We said it during the broadcast. It's not just that the guys you never see play are in the game. It's also the guys you do see come off the bench. They have a chance to play like they're in high school, right? And they're the best player on the floor.
Yeah, they were face guarding Pritchard, but they were also doing the same thing to Hauser when he was out there. So Charles Lee wasn't messing around with both those guys, and they realized how difficult it is to get free, but they were still able to be effective.
How excited are you for these games to matter? Because the Celtics have been locked into the 2 seed for, it feels like, months.
Yeah, I think I'll get more excited when I know what the matchup is, right? It's a whole week to kind of watch the plan unfold. And I feel like all that momentum continues to build. And then whether we play on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, once the playoffs start, there's so much stuff going on league-wide, like breaking down the matchups. The only thing that's weird is I don't remember the Orlando game being a game in which they had their full strength or we had our full strength. And I do remember the Atlanta game where, it was a play-in game or a in-season tournament game, and Atlanta played great against us. So, if it is Atlanta, I'll go back and watch those games. And, that's what the best part of the playoffs is. Everything matters. You're not going to have minute restriction or a guy sitting out because of rest. It's going to be, it's probably the best. It's why we do the 82 games.
Well, there's obviously some nuance to this, but the Celtics did lose the season series to 4 teams. And it's 4 teams they could run into in the playoffs potentially. It's Atlanta, Orlando, either one of the first-round opponents, Indiana, and Oklahoma City. So there's a chance the Celtics see all of those teams. Definitely going to see one of them in the first round. Excited to watch it, Giles. I'm just really hoping that there's no game Monday, so I don't have to run the marathon and then come to work.
Oh, I hope there is.
I
hope there is.
Part of me thinks it would be kind of cool. It'd be like an epic day.
Wouldn't you just be on high, like just carry it through?
I don't know if the runner's high applies after 26.2. I think
at that point,
it's more of a runner's low.
Oh man. You know what? If we do that, we'll go party afterwards.
We'll go party afterward. We'll have, a camera following the whole day. It could be kind of fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I think it's a better story. So you should be rooting for a game on Monday. You can handle that, man. You're a young guy.
Luke, that commercial you did with D. White was hilarious. Can we get the origin story? And why are Tommy points important to you?
Well, the real origin, we had like this little organizational thing called like the 3T Awards that kind of recognizes people of good teammates and stuff like that, which Derrick won last year. So I was already prepping a slander campaign for that. Well, I've been thinking about that for a long time. And then the Tommy Award thing came up in the interview the other day, and I was like, well, I gotta, And Tommy Awards, I think, are important to me because a desperation for individual recognition, which is what it's all about, I think, in the end, right?
Payton, now that the regular season is over and you're no longer can be seen as going for an award, do you think you've had a season worthy of the Sixth Man of the Year?
I feel like I put myself in the best situation possible to win it, and so I'm proud of that, and I feel like I've done my job as far as helping this team come off the bench and be a spark and try to be the best bench player in the league. So, but at the end of the day, if I get voted for it, it's an unbelievable award and be a great honor. But at the end of the day, it's out of my control if they vote for me or not. So, but we'll see, though.
You don't have any kind of you're going to campaign for it? Are you going to put the word out?
No, there's no need for that.
Do you want it that bad?
There's no need for that. If I get it, like I said, it's not going to stop my journey. It's not going to stop the work I'm going to put in. This should just be another stepping stone. People can write about it if I get it, saying that I have an award. But at the end of the day, I feel like, I'm just looking to keep growing and growing. And I feel like the future, I don't know what that holds.